Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters and debunkers. The sun sets on the final experiment. Yeah, we're going to talk about how they've totally misunderstood Flat Earth. Hello, Squirrel Sniper. First with intent. All right. Happy Friday to you, if it's still Friday for you. Hi, Zoo Scott. All right, mate. Yeah, good. Good to see you here. Yeah, the final experiment flop. Proving nothing new under the sun. And yeah, I just thought the recent propaganda campaign, the misinformation campaign by Will Duffy, needs to be rebuked and the claims refuted. So that's what we're going to do today. Got a couple of illustrations lined up, just showing this simple way that perspective has been converted into an imaginary curve using a bit of geometry. Nothing too heavy. Hello Desert, hello Mojo Shop. Effed Up World, hello there. Alright. Chilster's in the house as well. Hello there. Alright. Hope you're all doing alright. Looking forward to a nice weekend. But has Jaron left yet? Good morning, Stephanie Maguire. Good evening from me in Phuket. As you can see, it's dark out. Music Realm, hi there. Hi, Brandon. Ellen. All right. Oh, Squirrel, you need a laugh right now. My mother just passed after a month of fighting her. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Blessings to you and your family. Must be a difficult time. But hey, a long time in hospital is not good. We know that there's more to this realm and beyond it than we can ever really know. And we know we've been given crazy ideas about where we are, and from the globe religion to all the other religions telling us what happens in life and afterlife, and really nobody knows. We've got all these authorities telling us how we should think and feel about things like life and death, but I think we know, you get to know that whatever energy, soul, spirit is possessing our bodies right now, I'm pretty sure that's eternal somehow. How can I prove it? I can't. But, death is part of the journey. So I do hope your mother's in a better place, Squirrel Sniper. Hello, Snowman. All right, thank you for coming in. Yeah, nice one, Squirrel. Yeah, she's at rest. Yeah, and as you get older, you realise that. Well, I mean, sure, there are wonderful experiences to be had, and we can't do everything that we would want to do in this world. But we kind of accept our fate, though, don't we? It's always there at the back of our minds, right? We're going to leave one day. Yeah. Yeah, well, nice. Thank you for all those other positive sentiments you're sending through there in chat. Hello, Lord Racer. Yeah, nicely said, Music Realm. In your experience after NDE, near-death experiences, yeah, we do exist beyond the physical, yeah. What an adventure, eh? Yeah. And to be honest, I wouldn't be too fussed about people telling you that it's a soul trap and things like that. I mean, I'd be happy to give this another go, and maybe there's something very important about DNA, if it is what it is, and blood and all that kind of thing. Yeah. So Charlie, hello. All right. Well, great to see a whole bunch of people in. Yeah. So let's just let me see if I can get this right now. I wanted to have a look at these claims recently made by Will Duffy. I'll just get rid of my thing there for now. All right. I've got three things that Will Duffy has been saying since returning from what he originally said was supposed to be a fair experiment. Yeah. So we can go through these, and as I said, we'll talk about how they've totally misunderstood what flat Earth really is. So we've got these claims by Will Duffy that, first of all, the entire globe model exists only because the globe exists. And, well, that's false because the globe model is based on perspective. It's not based on any measure of the Earth being curved. It is just because it's not even that we see any curvature in the sky either, but it is from the observations in the sky that have been converted into an imaginary curve beneath our feet. Okay. I'll come back to this, and we'll do some illustrations on that in a minute. Number two, maps of the globe exist because the globe exists. Now, that's a ridiculous claim. Absolutely ridiculous. And that's false because maps are not models. Now, remember, before these guys popped off to Antarctica, we looked at one of Duffy's introductory videos, and I pointed out that when he talks about the globe, then he's talking about the globe model, and that includes, well, that's the heliocentric model, the whole 90 million miles away sun, and everything, every single pseudo-scientific explanation that they've got that goes with the heliocentric model. So when he talks about the globe model, he's talking about the heliocentric model. Yeah. And maps, this is of course what they erroneously did, or Will did right from the start, was to say that an AE map is your flat Earth model. And of course that was total misrepresentation of, what is referred to as the entire flat Earth community. Yeah. And then the third claim of misinformation is that globe predictions come true every day. Every flat Earth prediction was demonstrably false. Okay. So, of course, what needs to be understood here is that by the way, is the sound okay? I hope the sound's okay, man. I haven't checked. This was a false dichotomy anyway, saying that there's a globe model predictions and flat Earth predictions. That's absolutely false, because nothing changes. Nothing changes about what we see happening in the sky. And nothing changes about what we see on the Earth. And nothing changes about our perspective of across the level Earth. Yeah? Okay, thank you, Brendan. Okay, great. Thank you, Glenn. All right. So yeah, this is a false dichotomy fabricated by Will Duffy, that there are globe predictions and there are flat Earth predictions. Well, the only flat Earth prediction you should be worried about is that when you try to measure the Earth, you will discover that it's measured level. Yeah? Any measurement across the Earth, no matter how many thousand miles you go, is level. There is no measurable curve. So you can very easily predict that no matter how far you go, in whatever direction you go, the Earth will be measured as a level plane. Yeah, there is no curve in sight or in any form at all measurable, whether you're flying or walking or going on a boat, whatever. Yeah, there's no curve. And the globe predicts that water will curve down these imaginary curves. Well, but they don't see that in reality. So that's a prediction that doesn't come true. The globe predicts curvature. Let's have a look at that first, yeah? I got to go to the Earth curvature calculator, and I've got to switch over to this one. Just give me a second. All right, there's our Earth curvature. We all know these, yeah? We've all had a look. Yeah, so 10 miles gives you 66.69 feet of curvature. All right. Yeah, there is an Earth curvature calculator. This is predicted for the globe. But when you measure reality, when you travel in a level line, doesn't matter what version of level you're using, there is no measure of any curve or change in degrees or anything. Yeah, it's measured level, and there's no difference. None of these guys can tell you or demonstrate or measure a difference between horizontal level and their curved level for their globe. Yeah. Hi, Indy. Yeah, where are the guns? Yeah. So okay, not one of their predictions that are fundamental to the model have ever been shown to be true. Hi, John. On the real Earth. Okay? All right, back to the slideshow. Yeah? All right. So I wanted to go back to this first one, yeah? All right, the entire globe model exists only because the globe exists. And then say, well, that's false because there is no measure of curvature, and that has come from the sky. So how did that come from the sky? Let's have a look. Let's go to GIMP. All right. Okay. I found this lovely photo. Can't remember where. Yeah. And obviously the sun, I would presume it's appearing to set. It could be rising. You wouldn't know, would you? Yeah. But we get this impression that it's far away from us. And what happens when it gets even further away? Well, I'll just put another artificial sun right there. Okay. Pun not intended, but intended halfway through saying that, given the nature of the content. And so if the sun was down here rather than up here where it's red, then of course you would assume that the sun has gotten further away from you. Yeah, this is simply because that's how we understand perspective to work. Just as we see that surface going off into the distance and appearing to rise up, yeah, it's not rising into any kind of bulge or curve. This is a level surface. This is how we see it. Okay, so actually perspective, what kind of maths would you use to describe it? Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Because these are really just kind of coordinates on a two-dimensional view. Although we get the 3 dimensions because we get this appearance of depth from perspective, yeah? So we all know that perspective has been hijacked or converted into this imaginary curve, yeah? Simply because the further something is away from us in the sky and on the ground, the closer it will get to the horizon. Hello, Esther. Yeah? So if we then go to this one, similar situation, yeah, where I'm going to have to turn off that text so you can see the star. There's a star at the top there, and so there's a red star at the top here and a purple star over here, just above the horizon. So if you're looking at that, obviously, first of all, we don't really know how far away they are or how large they actually are, but based on how perspective works and how we see the real world around us, which star would you say is closer to us and which one would you say is further away? The red one or the purpley pink one? Well, I'd say the red one higher up appears closer because it's higher, and the pink one is further away because it appears lower. And we know that as time progresses throughout the evening, that will probably come up over us. It depends which way we're facing and all that jazz. Yeah. But a star over here has not gone down any curve. It's not because the Earth has moved anywhere. It's simply because it's further away from us. So it's appeared to have gone down. This is perspective. That's how it works, right? Yeah. Just before I move on, I'll just have a quick look through the chat, see what's being said there. F. World MC Troll came up with Duffy's. Oh right, yeah. I figured. I figured. Duffy is just MC Toon's mouthpiece a lot of the time. Yeah, it's funny. What else we got? Indy, where are the guns? Yeah, we can't establish what the sun actually is, as we don't know. Yeah, in this amazing realm, exactly that. I mean, the whole thing has started off from these presuppositions, again with the heliocentric model and everything that goes with it. Yeah, the whole idea. Indy 007 Globers, the sun should not set on a flat Earth. Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, the sun shouldn't set on a flat Earth. If the Earth was flat, the sun wouldn't set. Also, Globers, the sun not set. I know. Talk about contradictions. Yeah, just another one to add to the list of hundreds of contradictions. Yeah, that's brilliant. Okay, so what I wanted to do is go on to this next slide here. Hopefully I'll push buttons in the correct order. So, just to illustrate, now again, this habit of putting things into an orthographic view, a side-on view, is kind of a mistake in the first place. And much the same could be said about any kind of top-down view map, such as the Gleason's map, because we're faced with the same problem. We got a map that spreads out from the center, from the azimuth. And of course that is kind of representing the way the angles get wider and wider over distance. It's not the physical distance, right? So yeah, I mean, they've misconstrued that projection, and they say, oh look, look, when you get down south the lines get further apart, that means it's further. I mean, it's just ridiculous, because they're just arguing from ignorance of not knowing or ignoring what the map is actually representing. Yeah, so this is all you get from the Globers, misrepresentation, yeah? So again, keep in mind, whenever we do an orthographic view like this is not a view we ever see. We do not see this view. We're just merely trying to represent this guy down here, this guy on the left. I'm sorry, I'm very fond of pink today. It started off for a reason to try and discern between different colours, but yeah. It's nothing to do with me, trying to be inclusive or anything. It's still a man. It's not a they, them. So your man down there, your pink man, is looking at a star A at the top there. Okay. Quite far above him, and not quite directly above, but it appears high in the sky, yeah? Whereas star B over here on the right appears all the way down here for this viewer. But really, that star is still way... I've got to find it now. There, hang on. Now I'm going to mess things up. Star B, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Ah, there we go. Okay. All right. So we can, if I draw another purple line across here, or pink line, we can see that this, this horizontal line represents this level sky that's parallel with our level Earth. And when we see let's just go back to this, and we look across, or we go here. Okay, we see a parallel sky. We don't see a curved sky. We see a parallel sky that obviously appears to converge at the horizon in the distance. Yeah, so I'm just not assuming. I'm just considering that the star B is actually at the same height as star A in this layer above us. Yeah, and but it will appear to this guy over here as being closer to the horizon, simply because of the effects of perspective. And then, of course, if you then do a circle around that, okay, you can then get geometry. Yeah, so we now create this arc between these two stars and how they will appear to this observer. Yeah, and this curve is what's transposed onto the ground beneath our feet. There is not necessarily a dome. The stars aren't necessarily curving. They're just going off into the distance. Now maybe they're going around and around in big thing. We'll have a look at some of those star trails in a minute. Yeah, and you can see that obviously this circle would be very, very large. If I kind of zoom out there, you see how large. So you can see that the center would be way, way down, and it's, again, just calculating the distance to that center that would give you the center of a spherical Earth. Yeah. So bring that back up here. I'll come back to the chat in a second. Now you could have a guy on a boat here on the right under star B, okay, and he is going to see. He's red because he's looking at star B, but he's going to see it in this top position, in its actual position, because it's right above his head. Yeah, and so if he was looking at star A, that star would appear to be down where star B is, but over here on the left. Yeah, I'm not going to add all these bits in because then it will just get confusing, but you'll understand obviously that they each have a dome of perspective, as it were. Yeah, so it's this perspective, from someone assumed to be at the North Pole, for example, that is turned into the imaginary curve. Yeah, it's quite simple, isn't it, really? Let me just come back. I've just come back to the chat just a second. Oh, I got lots of people in there now. Hello, Simon Doherty. Oh yeah, he has programmed his own mind to see a globe. He's only for... Yeah, exactly. Nobody sees a globe. It is programming. It is, of course, programming. No Donk Records. Hello there. Mallard the Duck. Hi. Stephen Watson. Afternoon, sir. One plane. The sun now set on what's left of the British Empire. Yeah. My eyes don't lie. Hello from the East Coast. It's cold as balls here. It's a dry cold, so you can't see. Oh, really? Ah, okay, dry breath. You can't see your breath. On a plane. All right. Sweet. Okay. Yeah. So... Yeah, and so, really, if I just go back to... That makes total sense, right? And if I just go back to this one, and I go to... Here is what I was kind of saying. The globe exists only because stars exist. I'm going to come back and turn my camera back on. Hello again. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I mean, this is it. The globe only exists because stars exist, right? Again, if it weren't for the stars, there would never have been any of these measurements of the dimensions, I suppose, right? Yeah? The entire globe model is based on the stars. Obviously, primarily Polaris, yeah? So if it wasn't for stars, none of this would have come about. But, they're looking at the stars and making all these assumptions about what they are because they've already presupposed a model. Yeah, they, again, just as, Brendan said, we don't know what the sun is, we don't know what the stars are, we don't know where they are. yeah. But of course, a whole bunch of explanations have had to be cobbled together for the heliocentric presupposed model, yeah. And we'll have a look at some star trails in a minute, and you have a look for yourself. Think for yourself, what does that really represent, right? But you know, the fact that there's a north and a south pole as far as the stars go, well, you just move along the plane and you're looking up at these different poles, yeah? Nothing about them dictates that you're going opposite sides of a spherical Earth, do they? Yeah? So yeah, we can imagine it like that. We can. And of course it has been done, and that's why the predictions that are made, regardless of what you assume the shape of the Earth to be, you look at a sundial and you follow the sun, you can predict where the shadow of the sundial is going to go on any given day. You can get your telescope out and you can line it up based on the time of year. And yeah, I mean, there's going to be this wonderful alignment tonight of all the, what is it, the moon, Venus, Jupiter, Mars, Neptune, I think, as well. I can't remember, but I'm going to get up early in the morning and try and see that if I can. I've had some nice clear views from Phuket recently, yeah. So nothing changes about what we see. It's all fantastic stuff to observe, and it's all predictable, from the sundial shadows to the, you know, where the stars are going to be and the moon orientation and all that. None of that has ever bothered flat earthers in the past. None of that ever bothered, you know, none of that was ever seen as any kind of solid proof when you start questioning the globe and the heliocentric model, right? Yeah? We know that all of the explanations are often contradictory. Yeah? The physics just doesn't add up, whether you want gravity to exist or not. However you assume gravity to be, that can't be responsible for air pressure or the air not escaping into the assumed vacuum of space. Yeah? So there's nothing about their model that's been proved, especially by looking at the sky. Yeah? But what, of course, we can assume is that we're in some kind of container, something that's been created, something that has a function and works very well. Your sundial's running fast. Yeah. No, they don't work in Scotland either. Yeah, that's true, on a plane. Yeah. Yeah. So, let's have a. I'm going to have to. What am I going to do for the? Hang on. Probably the quickest way to open up the star trails is to go boof. Just a second. Bear with me. And boof. And boof. I'm going to show these in GIMP because it just makes things easier rather than bring them up. So let's have a look at some star trails. Back to GIMP. I can move that about a bit. I'll move myself about a bit as well. Oops. Let's just get rid of me. Hang on. Yeah? I mean, you look at these star trails, again, whether you're seeing a north or a south pole, doesn't matter. What are we looking at? Okay, this is a time lapse or whatever, so we're seeing something that we don't normally see. But you can see there's a point in the middle, and then, you know, that's turning around. Then you can see on to the left there, things are kind of straightening out a bit more. Okay. But this, to me, looks like all these stars are in the same place. They're not millions of miles away from each other. Otherwise, we wouldn't get such beautiful circles. Yeah, if the Earth was moving to create these star trails, they'd be converging, diverging, crisscrossing. Yeah, because our perspective and parallax would change because they're each millions of miles away. Yeah, so we would we would still have depth. Yeah? But we don't see, I mean, you could assume that there is some depth. It does kind of look like it when you get to that kind of vortex on the right. I'm not sure which pole this is, whether it's the North or the South Pole. Yeah? Let's have a look at a different one. Yeah? I think this is taken from somewhere in the US. Yeah? I mean, what's really going on there? What are you really looking at? We have no idea. I mean, it's. I mean, you know, do you really want to assume? I mean, if you assume that, look at that, right? That's like if you imagine that the Earth surfaces on some kind of washing machine. You're inside a washing machine, and then you're turning around to make those star trails happen in a stationary sky. Well, that, you know, that just doesn't compute. That's not what the Earth is supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to be turning like we're on the inside of a washing machine, are we? Yeah? Why would you assume that seeing this means the Earth is turning? It's perfectly reasonable to interpret that as how we see it. The stars are turning, or the whole sky is turning. And of course we know that the sun and the moon and the stars all pass overhead or go across the sky at different speeds. So, you know, this is also a clue that it's not the Earth that's moving, because if it was, then all these different... Well, you wouldn't have different speeds. Everything would be kind of going around at the same time. But, oh, that's moving a little bit, that's moving, and, you know... Yeah, the brainwashing machine, good point. Yeah, hang on, I'm just going to turn off my email thing. Yeah? I'll bring one more in here. Is this the same? Ah, okay, this one maybe. Yeah. All right. Again, what are we looking at, really? Yeah. I mean, you know. Yeah, that's a good point, Bloodsticker, and it's, you know, something you know a lot more about than I do, because, yeah, the whole kind of solar, lunar, sidereal, yeah. So the sidereal is kind of, yeah, you end up with this different time, don't you? On a plane, the fentanyl, you fear the fentanyl statues won't get out of the way of the fires. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. But, yeah. I wouldn't claim to know what's happening. And that's what these guys are doing. They're claiming to know what's happening in the sky. They're always looking at the intangible, yeah? Here's the flat earthers saying, measure the earth, measure something tangible. And they're saying, we can't measure the earth, but we can point at the sky, at things we don't know, and we'll tell you that we live on a globe. Yeah? Oh, dear. All right. Hang on a minute. So I'm going to just kind of... Let's bring the slideshow back up. Let's get rid of that. Let's bring myself back on. All right, let's bring the title back on as well, because we are talking about the sun setting on the final experiment. Yeah. Yes, who are Saviour? Hello, Chris Hayes as well. All right, Lord Racer. Yeah. Damn, I lost my train of thought there. Yeah. Give me a second. So there you go, man. It's just a case of understanding where they've gone wrong, really. Yeah. That's what I was going to go back to, these claims. All right. So, there's these claims again, yeah? All right. These are the claims made by Will Duffy in one of his recent videos, having returned from Antarctica, yeah? Now, I've not seen them really put any cohesive data together about the sunspots seen in different locations. You know, Duffy did a video before he went calling on people around the world to send in their photos. I don't see much has been done with that. But again, it wouldn't change anything, yeah? Just wouldn't change anything whatsoever. So again, number one, the entire globe model exists only because the globe exists. No, it doesn't. The globe model exists because Copernicus, so we're told, said let's put the sun in the center, not because we worked it out, not because we could prove it, not because we went there, just because we could model the Earth going around the sun as another planet. And then, of course, the Earth has to be another planet. It has to be a globe. Yeah. But nevertheless, the globe model is actually based on perspective. Yeah. We measure, or we do these observations. It's all done from a level surface. There are ground points for things, and we know that the further away something is, the closer it will appear to the horizon. Ah, that reminds me, I was going to bring up another picture. Just a second. Ah, where was it? Huh. Ah, yes. This one. Just a sec. So, let's come back to GIMP. Alrighty. You can see that, I presume. Yeah. So, just, you know, one of those really simple things you can understand. So, you globers out there, yeah? Remember, what we're seeing is parallel lines appearing to converge. This is how perspective works, yeah? Alright, so we got this warehouse here where we've got the shelves are parallel lines, yeah? We got the floor and the ceiling, yeah? So actually there isn't any curve. This is how we see the sky and the floor. So let's do this. Let's just flip it. Let's go 90 degrees, yeah. So now you can see how the shelf there acts like the floor, and the shelf up here acts like the sky. And here is off to the side, the floor is now off to our right hand side, and the ceiling is off to the left, yeah. But this is how we see it, yeah. That's right, bloods, point perspective, yeah. That's it. It's so simple. So the fact that we're on this level plane sandwiched between, you know, a level sky, whatever it's doing, whatever it is, that it produces this effect that we see, yeah, then there you go. That's your answer. That's why perspective is the imaginary curve, yeah. Here's the surface going up. Here's the sky going down. There's the the stars appearing to go down. There's the surface and the sun. The surface appearing to rise. The sun appearing to go down. Yeah? It's simply because it's perspective working this way. From the top to the middle, from the bottom to the middle. Yeah? Simple as. It's really, really simple. Yeah? And it's so simple. That's the thing, you know. They They can't believe that they were duped. Yeah, the people making these claims think they're so smart because they've had to, what's the word? Kind of this indirect evidence, using all this indirect evidence, so they think it's smart. They think, oh, I can't have been fooled by something so scientifically proven. When there is no scientific proof, there's just explanations. R.J. Shine says the only issue you have wrong is that the sun would shrink, and so too would all the stars in your... No, R.J. Shine, not at all. There's a couple of reasons for that. Yeah. First of all, you don't know what the sun is, and you don't know what the stars are, right? Second of all, they are all very far away. Yeah, but how far away we don't know. All right? So they are lights. Lights behave differently to physical objects, and once something gets above a certain height, its relative size, its angular size doesn't change like something that's directly in front of us. Now you go ahead, RJ Shine, and check out an aircraft flying through the sky. Do you know how high it is, really? Yeah? You can understand something about the distance because you know something about aircraft, yeah? You've seen them on the ground, you've maybe been in one, right? So you've got an idea, your brain can interpret it, yeah? But the sun, we don't know what it is, we don't know what it's shining through, we don't know how big it is to start with, we don't even know if it's like a ball of whatever they say it is, yeah? Okay. So the sun is unique, all right? And again, the stars, this is it with the stars, yeah? Well, first of all, assuming that the sun is 93 million miles away is ridiculous, yeah? You wouldn't even be... How would you know that you could see it that far away anyway, yeah? Okay, so I don't have it wrong. I just have an understanding and acceptance that we don't know what it is. And actually, this argument about the sun must change size has only come about as some kind of excuse for constantly, when the flat earthers are saying, okay, well, you could interpret the sun as being on a level plane, doesn't have to be on a globe, based on all the other reasons you give for the earth being a globe because of sun shadows and direct, yeah. Again, the thing about parallel lines of light, that's totally made up for the model, all right? Yeah, and when it comes to celestial navigation, you just assume that the light from a star that has a ground point, okay, remember the sun and the stars have ground points on the earth, very specific ground points. Yeah, so once you're away from that ground point, yeah, they then kind of say, well, but actually the light's coming down in parallel lines. It's not. It's not. And that's, again, attributed to the curve. You see, if you get rid of the curve, you don't have parallel lines. Yeah? Again, this is just messing around with geometry. But the fact is that the shadows change depending on, the distance of the sun. Yeah? And you can see from the sun as well, looking at clouds at sunset. Yeah? Let's see if I can pull one up right now. And we'll there's a good one. Let's see if I can bring this up. All right, there it is. Hang on a second. All right. You see this? Okay, it's the first picture I found when doing a sunset. Now look at what's happening, yeah? Look. Okay? And you can go and check this for yourself. You see the white clouds up here? Okay? These are not very dense, okay? The sunlight shines through them. Yeah? Okay. White clouds are white because the sun is shining through them. And you can see here that the sun is still above. Okay? The sun appears over there because it's about to set. Okay? It's near the horizon. But actually you can see that the sun is still lighting up the sky and the clouds up here. Okay? Not from the bottom. It doesn't light up the bottoms of clouds, okay, when it sets. So even though it's down here, all right, the clouds here, it appears below these clouds. It's not below those clouds. If it was, it would be lighting up the bottoms of these clouds. But these darker clouds are denser, so the light doesn't shine through them. Yeah, and as the sun gets further away, then you know, it's just like looking at a halogen light where you get this kind of rainbow effect around the edge of the light. Yeah, so it changes color. And then let's have a look at this one. All right. Yeah. Oops. Sorry. I'm just looking at this firsthand. Yeah. Okay. All right. The sun is not lighting up the bottoms of the clouds. It's still above the clouds, and just the ambient light is changing color because it's getting further away. All right. Yeah. So you can go and check that for yourself, RJ Shine. All right. Awake Soul says angular size is a measurement of two things: diameter divided by distance. Yeah, but I was going to say, look at you look at an aircraft. As I said, you look at an aircraft far away, and the same as you look at a boat far away. Now that aircraft might be going through a lot of turbulence, and the boat might be bouncing around on the waves. But from your perspective, from your vast distance you are away from it, you will not have a clue. It just looks like it's all going very smoothly. Yeah? Okay, RJ, I wasn't sure what kind of side you were on, but there was a point. Yeah. So this is it. There are so many things, yeah, like that we kind of looked at, right, on the journey. Yeah. And all these things are testable yourself, yeah? You can measure the Earth as being level, yeah? And then, the globies will tell you, oh, but you don't understand. It's like, yeah, we understand your model, but your model predicts this curve, which doesn't exist. It's never been measured, yeah? This distance. Hello, David Banner. All right, man. Yeah. Never ever. Yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, the sun is setting on the final experiment because they haven't brought anything new at all to the table. And it's not like we didn't know that there was quite possibly a 24-hour sun in Antarctica and it never made any difference anyway. Yeah. It's just something they picked up on. Instead of, there's Duffy saying, oh, I spent months and months looking into flat Earth, but obviously failed to understand, like all the other globers, that perspective is the imaginary curve. And, this whole idea of a spherical a sphere in the sky is a conversion of perspective that doesn't even show us any kind of dome-like features anyway. It's just manipulated that way mathematically. Yeah? Tylux. Well, first of all, I don't believe you when you say I'm a flat earther. I join now the live stream. What are your thoughts on the final experiment? Was it fate? I don't know, and I don't really. I've not thought about it too much. like I said, doesn't make any difference if they went down there and saw a 24-hour sun. I mean, they were told before they went that you're barking up the wrong tree. The flat Earth isn't about where the sun is, so it doesn't make any difference. And and my thoughts are, and I said before they went, is you should be measuring the Earth, not pointing at the sky. Yeah. So if anyone wants to do a final experiment, measure the Earth. Yeah. So yeah, these claims, stink of desperation. The Duffy claims that the entire globe model exists only because the globe exists. No, it doesn't. Never existed. Never existed. Maps of the globe exist because, and then he says maps of the globe exist because the globe exists. No, the globe is just that. The maps are based on the stars, and how we see the stars has been converted into these domes of perspective, and that's been transposed onto the ground, yeah? Because they have ground points. Yeah, you're right, RJ Shine. A 3 miles water level experiment would end the date, or even 10 miles. We said, 10 miles you would get 60 odd feet of curvature, yeah? Or a drop, yeah? Again, can anyone tell me how to measure the difference between a drop in elevation and a curve? You ask any glober to tell you how to do that, and they can't. They'll come back with, well, where's your measure of flatness then? Well, it's everywhere. You get a spirit level, and you keep it level, and you take it in a horizontal direction, north, east, south, or west, or wherever you want to go, and it will stay level. That's it. The Earth is level. Yeah? Builders use it. Pilots use it. Engineers use it. Everyone uses the Earth being level. Yeah? And then you've got their bullshit about horizons. Yeah? Horizon drops which don't exist. Yeah? Again, they got to use trickery. Yeah? So we know from years and years of trying to ask them to do some real science that they won't. Ask them to choose one or the other of their so-called proofs. Like, does the Earth spin beneath you or not? The Earth doesn't spin beneath you when you take off from it. It doesn't spin beneath you when you hit a golf ball. Yeah? It doesn't spin beneath you when you're in an aircraft. But apparently it spins beneath you under a Foucault's pendulum. Yeah, exactly, David. We go back to the basics with these globies, ask them to practically demonstrate their model. Yeah? If they're going to, I have been talking to a couple of people in the UK, if and when I eventually get back there. I really want to do some kind of Bedford levels experiment with a drone and a vehicle. Yeah? Set it up to go horizontal. Yeah? Do the Bedford levels, 6 miles of canal water. Yeah? Have a car going along as well, have a boat going along as well, whatever you want to do. Yeah? Record level flight with a drone. Yeah? And also, another one that the friend Leon suggested the other day is very similar. The fact that you could, you can go along in a train in a straight line, and that's fixed on the ground, and then you can also fly in a straight line and follow that train either above it or in a parallel line to it without any kind of switching over, means that the Earth is stationary. Well, RJ Shane, you say for 8 years we've been asking, plenty of people have done tests, yeah? Plenty of people with label, but you can't find them now, on YouTube. Yeah? I've done a 10,000 kilometer level test. Yeah? But this is it. You like I said, you can prove this to yourself. On a phone app with whatever, some kind of leveling application. Yeah, level doesn't change. The water doesn't bend or not flow down curves. Yeah? So that, you know, everything that we do on or above the Earth is done on a level Earth. There's no curve ever. Bob question, no video or image can ever be empirical evidence for anything except that the video or image was made. Good point, Bob. Yeah. Tylux, the Earth is flat, but how can the Sun circle an observer in Antarctica? How was it all created in the first place? I have no idea. Don't make any claims. I don't make any claims that the Sun proves the shape of the Earth. Yeah? The ground proves the shape of the Earth. Yeah, there are all sorts of explanations, but how are you going to prove any of them anyway? Yeah? The globe proponents are the ones with all the claims about knowing what the Sun is, its distance and everything like that. They claim to know how it works. From what? From anything tangible? Nope. Yeah, again, RJ Shine, you know, you're not talking about the effects of curvature when you say that Rowbotham did a test with a lighthouse. Yeah, that happens. This is the first thing I looked at. Go and look at my early videos or many other people's videos showing what happens at the horizon. What happens at the horizon is an optical effect. It's called diffraction. Yeah, because, you know, if you assume that light is information traveling to your eyes, or the images, whatever, they get diffracted on the way because of everything that's going on above the surface. The tiny, tiny bumps in the surface. Yeah, no surface is totally smooth. Yeah, water is choppy, and the further away that water is, that's like I was saying with the boat. Yeah, the boat might be really far away and bouncing up and down in the water. You can't tell how choppy it is out there. You can just see this boat. Or you can see a lot of it cut off. Yes, that's what happens across a level surface. But it's a rugged surface and it's constantly moving. And there's compression and there's diffraction. Yeah, and there's sometimes all this other stuff going on. Yeah, temperature changes and fluctuations, dust and dirt and haze. Yeah, which okay, brings me to another photo. Where was it? I'll open it up in this one. Right, there's another photo in GIMP. Bear with me. Look at that. Oops. Look at that. What's happening there? Is that windmill going down a curve? If that windmill was really far away, you wouldn't see the gap between the surface, the flowers, and the top there. It would just be squished. It would just be this tiny thin line. What's happened? It's just a bit of haze has got in the way. Yeah? So, you know, you can see the sun doing this as well. Half the sun gets cut off above the horizon because closer to the surface you've got all this haze and stuff, and it's denser and denser for us to see through. Yeah, all demonstrable, all explainable if you just look at the real world with, you know, an open mind and open eyes, without assuming that you're seeing evidence of curvature. All right. Sandro, hello. Just looking through chat, hang on. Gra99. If you drive from Chalong to Kata Beach near Big Buddha on right, you can see the ocean. Yeah. You know Phuket well then. Yeah. All right. So yeah, we don't know what the sun is. We don't make claims about the sun or the stars. But the globies do. Yeah. Their entire model is based on misinformation, misunderstanding, and a lot of fantastical explanations. Hello, Roger Ledwell. Yeah. All right. Go back one more look at the claims. All right. Yeah, maps of the globe of Earth exist because the globe exists. No, not at all. Yeah, maps are not models. Yeah, again, remember Will Duffy was claiming that the AE map is your flat Earth model. Yeah. No, not at all. It's just a map. Yeah. And let me see if have I got a Gleason's map in my arsenal here. Just give me a second. Ooh, there's one. Tan tan tan. All right, let's bring up that again. All right, there's our Gleasons. So what these numpties will do, pretending to be really smart, but then totally misrepresenting the way maps work, is they'll say, well, these, as the lines get bigger, they are claiming that these physical distances get greater and greater on the Earth. But this is just a map projection, or an azimuthal projection. The fact it's an azimuthal projection means someone has put themselves at the North Pole and projected it from there. Yeah. So of course every degree is going to get wider and wider and wider over distance. Yeah, not physically, but it's just the way it's represented. Yeah. So you move your azimuth, you move the center around elsewhere, and of course everything changes in proportion with it. Yeah. I'm not a cartographer, and it's quite an in-depth topic, isn't it? But you can easily understand that if someone's misrepresenting flat Earth by saying, "Oh, this is your model," and "Oh, look at the distances of Australia," I wish. Can we zoom in on Australia, for example? Let's try. Oops. Let's try and see what happens there. Yeah, basically, if you go and look at any map, yeah, with a coordinate system overlaid on it, Australia takes up about 3, all told, 1, 2, 3 of these sections, 2 solid ones and bits of the other ones, yeah. So it's about 3 sections, yeah. So even on a map, or a map of the southern hemisphere, let's say, from the South Pole, Australia will look shorter. But it still covers these 3 lines here, these 3 sections here. So of course, because these sections have been illustrated as wider because they are further away from the azimuth, the center, then of course Australia gets stretched as well. That's an illusion. It's a projection. Yeah. So, yeah, this wasn't really a model. And it doesn't prove what maps don't prove the shape of the Earth anyway. Maps don't prove that there's a curve. Yeah. So again, these guys are just totally missing the whole point. Yeah, they've gone off on this wild goose chase for the sun. And like I said, it's not like there was basically just, to be honest, Jeran on his own, saying, well, I don't believe there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Well, yeah, I mean, fair enough, there is a difference between believing and knowing, yeah, but he was basing everything off just that Gleason's map, right? And if you weren't kind of stuck to a map, then whatever the sun's doing above Antarctica doesn't matter. Yeah. So, you know, it's a final experiment flop. Hasn't proven anything, hasn't told us anything different, hasn't brought any measure of curvature. Remember, they're assuming curvature in the first place. Yeah. Critical think doing his weight experiments, not taking all sorts of variables into account and assuming something that's never been measured in the first place. Roger Ledwell, what are you saying? The arc distance over water are shorter than they appear, the radius. Yeah, well, again, it's really very simple. I mean, you've just got the distances from one part of the Earth to another, let's say from the North Pole to the equator, and then from the equator to whatever locations beyond there. And, you know, that distance has been turned into a circumference and given a radius. Yeah, it can all be reverse engineered with a bit of geometry, or, you know, using pi and what have you. Yeah. You don't, you know, they never had a measure of the radius in the first place, and they only had a measure of flatness. Oh, David, thank you very much. Thank you, David. Much, much appreciated. All right. Oh, that's very good of you. So, £5 donation from David. Keep up the good work. Much appreciated. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So, you know, let's do this. Let's do our own final experiments. Let's again repeatedly measure the flatness, demonstrate the flatness. Yeah, that's the question from them, isn't it? Yeah. Where's your measure of flatness? Well, it's everywhere. Everyone does it, but we could also do it and ask them to join in. Yeah. You want to fund that, Duffy? You want to fund a drone? Fund a drone for Phuket Word. I'll do it here in Phuket, yeah? Non-Donk Record says there is also the time zone problem on the globe, but it fits perfectly on the AE map. Yeah, I remember looking into the time zones. I mean, yeah, they actually do. They do work fine on the globe. They go, they swap, don't they? They kind of move about, but on the Gleasons, those time zones are all straight. Yeah. Oh, thanks. You'll get me a breakfast when I visit. Oh, I'd love that. Yeah, good old fry up would be good, man. Yeah, but again, I suppose the time. You know, another problem with the time zones is that it's very rarely. What do you call it? Solar noon at midday for you know, for any given location, right? Yeah. It you know, it might be 2:00 in the afternoon sometimes when the sun is above your head in the UK. It depends, right? Or it's not. I know it never goes above your head, but you know, directly south. Yeah. At its zenith. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's all kind of man-made, isn't it? Yeah, it's understandable. I mean, this is a you know, again, you got to understand that it's a commercial construct. You know, the whole globe thing. You look at everything, the whole system, the whole kind of Western world system, the way of working, the years, the bank holidays, everything. It's all commercial. Yeah, it's got us living totally in this commercial world, and that's the other thing about flat Earth, is that you're coming back down to Earth. You're coming into a natural or more natural vibration out of this model. Yeah, the globe model it's not the shape of the Earth. It's a more of a time construct. Yeah, that keeps us globed in. Yeah. Oh, Wide Awake. Hi, man. Well, thank you. Yeah. Oh, you've been watching videos, but you haven't been commenting much. Ah, I know, because then you know you as soon as you comment, you get attacked, don't you? Yeah. So Glenn Souch, good to see you, man. What about the other experiment? Gas pressure without a closed container. Yeah, that one too, Glenn. Yeah. Sandro, with Globe, they say shrink it down to a snooker ball, and it's the smoothest ball. Now do the same with FE. It's the most flat thing. Yeah. Good point, Sandro. Yeah. Billy Corrigan, after the TFE and Antarctica, I don't think the Earth is flat anymore. Yeah, well, you are just a believer then. You didn't understand the concept in the first place. Or not the concept, you didn't understand the reality of it, Billy. Yeah, as I've just explained. Perspective, seeing the stars appear in different locations in the sky is what it's based on. Well, yeah, I mean, you could go down there now and see if the sun sets, but again, what's all that? Like we keep saying, you know, do an experiment measuring. Forget about the sun. Yeah, focus on the Earth. Yeah, no one ever gave a toss about Antarctica anyway. Really, I mean, we knew there's stuff going on down there. We knew that it's kind of like it's a bit mysterious, right? But going on an organised tour to there isn't going to reveal anything anyway, right? So I find it quite funny that, you know, there's a preacher who's preaching this stuff, and, you know, a real priest or a pastor wouldn't be. Well, I don't know. Why would you be focused on this? One man, you don't look up when you're tying your shoelace. Yeah, I can do them without looking. I can do my shoelace without looking. Can you? Yeah. Hello, Lev Kung Fu. Yeah, you're right, Music Realm. It was simply to try and divide people, no more or less. Yeah. But again, coming at it from this false dichotomy, right, Brendan, with kind of you're on this side, we're on that side, and you all believe this, and you're all one group, you're an entire community. You know, there are diverse people the world over with all kinds of beliefs, all kinds of outlooks on life, and everything. Yeah, and some of those people are flat earthers, and many of those people believe they live on a globe, and there are others that think other stuff. Yeah, but in those groups of people, very, very loosely based groups of people, they've all got their own different quirks and personalities and ideas, and, you know, there are idiots and assholes and nice people and cool dudes and whatever among all the different in these groups, right? Yeah. But what you've got on YouTube is these people really trying to push this narrative of a heliocentric model, the heliocentrism, yeah, and the whole, you know, this whole thing that goes with it. As I said, it's a commercial thing, and you look at these guys, you look at most of the guys, you know, they are in love with the commercial aspect of, you know, they're primarily YouTubers. That's what they're doing, and they found a niche that they can exploit. Yeah, so they're playing the game. Whereas I know personally, and I know a lot of others we use YouTube as a tool, as a vehicle, but it's not what we exist for. You know, our lives were all about finding out what life is really all about. What are we all doing here? Yeah, but these guys have just taken and swallowed the globalist pill, and they love it. But it's just, you know, it's just like any of these kind of movies or novels or stories about some kind of utopia versus dystopia, where you see that the guys they're being, you know, whether it's booze, pornography, drugs, you know, anything that kind of, you know, hedonism, basically hedonism, right? You got the hedonistic crowd that are just because they're interested in the money, the power, the fun, the gratification, the material aspect of life, then they just fall for it, hook, line and sinker, and they're oblivious to the stuff that the other guys are pointing out. Yeah, they're creating their own prison for themselves. Just go back through the chat a second. Yeah, that's a good point, Sandro. Would have been nice if they did distance laser tests on the flat ice. Yeah, it was very flat, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. No attempt whatsoever to actually prove the presupposition that they were following some kind of curve. You know, thousands of miles, many 40, you know, maybe more than 45 degrees of curvature for many of those people flying there. You know. I mean, this is it. It's like, what about, didn't any of you flat earthers going along want to try and do this? Or are you just accepting that if you measure it level, they're just going to say, well, that's just because you don't understand the model. Yeah? Good point, Music Realm. I care not of people's beliefs, just what kind of soul they are. Yeah, you know, I mean, you could still have conversations with people of all different faiths and beliefs, yeah? But what is it with these globers? These, you know, why are they being so dishonest about their belief? Why can you never have a straight answer from them? This, again, is one of the main driving factors behind realizing that, wow, we're not on a globe, because you've got all these zealots and you realise that it's a cult. Talked about this last week, yeah? And yeah, they make it obvious that you've got people just following a belief, and then, well, that would be okay. I don't care if people think we live on a globe. We all used to, right? And it didn't really bother us, yeah? But once you realise that that's an illusion and that's a lie, and that it's a cult belief, and you realise that our focus should be more upon the immediate, more upon reality, more involved with, you know, real life, rather than imagining what life could be like on bloody Mars, or if we travel in deep sleep to some other place and meet aliens. What for? You can get on a bus or a train or a plane and go and meet people that are totally alien to you and have totally different beliefs and have a totally different way of life, and you'll learn something from them, yeah? Roger Ledwell, you want to put this to bed for good? Yeah, as I said, I would not fear doing proper scientific measurements. I'm sure none of us would, right? I'm sure if we said, let's have a GoFundMe, let's go and do it, let's make some dates, let's set a plan to do a measuring water, and we'll do it. We'll set it out. We'll set out the method so that we can discern the difference between horizontal level and curved level, reality versus models. Yeah, perfectly happy to do that. Yeah, but we already know that Earth is measured level. Yeah, and they've already admitted that they can't measure curvature. So that's it. You know, the sun sets on the final experiment. Yeah, exactly, David. Yeah, they observed a local sun moving around their heads, which debunks them. Again, let's go back to these hang on, just back to GIMP. Yeah, these star trails, yeah. These all look very local to me. Yeah. It's all very local. They're all about the same height. And look at how, let me just make sure that's coming up. Sorry. Turn off my camera a second. Yeah. Look at how if you can imagine, if you look at a CD, you put a CD disc in front of you, put some lines on it or whatever you want to do, put some dots on it, do your time lapse, yeah? And you turn that thing in front of you. That's what it looks like. Yeah? This is not how it would appear if the Earth was spinning. We're not in a washing machine going round and around. Yeah? Let me just turn this round, see what it would look like. Yeah? You see how these are turning? All right? So let's imagine that the Earth here is turning. All right? So what would happen? That means that we're going up. This is not what the Earth is supposed to be doing. The globe Earth, by the way. But that's what, you look. That's what would, if the Earth was moving, that's how it would be moving, like it was going around on the inside of a washing machine to make the stars appear to do that. Yeah? You want to go that way? Okay, we can go that way. Yeah? Yeah, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. Looks like your way. One man says, I went to India with one kind of consciousness and came back home with a whole different consciousness. I'm sure it happened to you, Nick, moving to Phuket. Absolutely, one man. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Thailand itself, but obviously Phuket later on. Yeah. Definitely, because you can't imagine it. You might imagine it, but it's never how it turns out. So yeah, I bet that was pretty cool going to India. Yeah, it does change your outlook, because you can see there are so many different beliefs in India, and they're different gods and this and that. Yeah, they're very humble a lot of the time. Yeah. It's when you get creative, yeah. If you're an artist, whether you're creating music or you're creating art or something, you often feel that this is something coming through you, yeah. I had an artist friend who liked to paint Ganesha, and because Ganesha is, the Indian Hindu deity, with the trunk, the elephant god, yeah. But it's like he's a conduit for creativity. He's the Hindu god of kind of art and things like that, yeah, creativity. And so this idea is, again, it's all symbolic. It doesn't necessarily mean that they believe that there were these elephantile gods. Maybe not, but or demigods. Liz, hello. Nice to see you here. See you in other places, but rarely here, so nice one. Walking axle, upwards rising. What's that, upward rising? Sandro, gravity is fake. Flat level gravity, not necessarily. Yeah, the whole thing about gravity. I mean, yeah, because again, whatever you presuppose it to be, it's some kind of outside influence, yeah. But I think, again, what we've also got to think about is that we're always being directed at the stars, always. For they're looking at the stars, they're looking up at the sky for creation. When did the universe begin, the Big Bang, and all that is just complete nonsense. But again, they're never looking at the ground. We come from the ground. Yeah, the ground gives us everything. Yeah, everything. Yeah, I know it's tough in cold places, right? But you plan a little bit and you can have enough for the winter. But basically, the biggest treasures come from the ground, whether it's the gold, the ores, yeah, or the food, everything. It's all from the ground. So it makes sense that somehow we come from the ground, or we come from Mother Earth. Yeah, it's all happening down here. There's nothing going on up there apart from a clock in the sky. Earthship Bear. What's that one, man? Ganesh is the world that became garnished. The word, you mean? But garnishing. Oh, really? Okay. In English for toppings on your food. I didn't know that. Really? Okay. A bit of Ganesh on there. Yeah, Earthship Bear. I mean, yeah, you asked. I know you're asking this question because you're assuming that the Earth is moving in an upward direction, and again, I can accept that that is a viable theory, but that's as far as it goes because we still don't know what's creating the pressure. Just as gravity is said to be responsible for creating the air pressure, but then you look at how strong air pressure is. I mean, yeah. But you say they are questions we must answer, but we cannot answer. This is the thing, Earthship Bear. You're demanding that people answer questions based on a presupposition that okay, things have weight only because the Earth is moving. But there are many other possibilities that and when it comes to arguing about constant velocity and acceleration, as far as we can tell in the real world, constant velocity doesn't create any weight. It doesn't matter whether you're assuming being in or outside of a vacuum. So it just become kind of unanswerable. You can't answer the question. You can answer it, but you can't answer it by actually doing anything to the Earth, or seeing what the Earth's doing, or even what's powering this alleged movement in the first place. Yeah. Again, this is more of to me, it's more of a spiritual journey. Understanding that we've been bamboozled into believing physics that cannot be demonstrated or tested, and because of predictions, like you can predict how much you'll weigh and what have you, because or you can predict how fast something will fall towards the surface, just because those predictions have been made in the medium of air. Yeah, because we still don't know what medium our air and water is in. Is there another medium around us, and is there another one around that? Yeah. It doesn't have to be moving. It could be something to do with the mediums and the pressure. I don't know. But again, we are of the Earth. We come from the Earth as far as I'm concerned, but I can't prove it. Yeah? Can't prove any of this beyond what we can experience. Yeah? So it's fine to talk about it and say, okay, yeah, that's a theory we can put there and say, all right, we could be doing that. But that's as far as it goes for me. Yeah, it really is, because I'm just accepting a belief. I would accept it happily if it was proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, without having to just do kind of thought experiments to prove it, which is where we come back to the problem we're in at the moment with the globe. What's that one, man? People practice skydiving in a vertical wind tunnel. If they had a parachute on, what do you think will happen if they pull the cord, even though they are not the one moving? They would go up, right? Yeah, I imagine. Well, Earthship Bear, you say, okay, we are in a container, possibly, but you see, the thing is, we only talk about a container because of the assumption that space is a vacuum, and therefore you would have to have a container to keep the air pressure in. But no, so that's still based on an assumption. So yeah, but a container of what, and to what ends, against what? Again, what's outside? What's the medium beyond the container? Another question we cannot answer. Yeah, and I'm not going to spend the last couple of decades of my life, hopefully, trying to find a way to get up there and find out. I'm just going to focus on spreading the love down here on Earth and writing books about inside the mind of a flat earther, and maybe some books about Thailand. Yeah. Or the spiritual journey anyway. Yeah. Yeah, Wide Awake, type in goodbye. Just saw your comment, David. They're not skydiving in a winter. They're not skydiving into a winter. Yeah, but you can imagine it, right? Wide Awake says, type in flat earth into YouTube search bar and see what you get. It's why I haven't been putting anything out lately. All I get is videos of globers claiming they've debunked. Yeah, exactly. And actually, that's why I did not put, and I have not put flat earth in my titles recently. I'm just experimenting to see if that helps, kind of, and it kind of does help, actually. Yeah. So yeah, don't have to use it, and then you don't get the stamp. Yeah, so there's a couple of my previous videos where I haven't put FE in the title, and I've avoided getting the Wikipedia stamp. Yeah, and they've had more views. So yeah, I think we can just. I notice you David Banner kind of puts 2 Fs in there. That's it. We all know. I mean, we all know you now anyway. Wide Awake, and a lot of globies know you, so you can just put stuff out there and talk about sunsets and yeah. I love your stuff. You do great stuff. I mean, and what you have to say about it as well. Walk-in Axel. I'm writing a children's book. My crazy aunt thinks the Earth is flat. Music Realm, in fairness, Simon, that's a controlled environment, not real world experience. Flat Infinite Plane Earth says McToon challenged me 100,000 to go with him to Antarctica. Yeah, he would never pay up, even if he offered that. He wouldn't pay any money. They were just baiting, and again, trying to. This is it. It's funny, really, isn't it? How many they were going to get. What was it? Was it 12 or 24? I think, well, they were supposed to get a lot more. Will Duffy's plan was to get a lot more participants than he did, and he was only going to give away 1 free ticket. But they were so desperate to have a flat earther go, or 2, that he paid up for 2 tickets or whatever. There was a sponsorship done, wasn't there? Yeah, and this is only because they needed that. Their whole thing was about, see, we told you, you didn't believe us. There's the sun for 24 hours. Yeah? And the rest of us are like, well, go ahead, find out. Fine. Show us the footage. Yeah? And where's your measurements of the curvature that you're presupposing in the first place? Where are they? Yeah? Yeah, that's right, David. Nothing's been debunked. Yeah, nothing at all. Yeah. Apart from just, again, you look at it. You look at these star trails. You look at the sun, and it appears local. And the sun and the moon. Again, a prediction I made before they went to Antarctica and made a big hubbubaloo about the sun and the moon. I said, okay, the prediction is that you're going to see the sun spots and the moon, the markings on the moon appear to either rotate or not rotate, but whatever one's doing, the other one will be doing the same. Yeah? So this is it. You know, we understand that the sun and the moon, they work in tandem. They are working together. Yeah, they're part of this. It's the yin yang. Yeah, they, whatever esoteric thing they are doing up there, yeah, going around on some kind of magnetic thing. Again, you know, you think about what's coming up from the earth as the center of creation, the earth as the center of the universe as we know it, the earth that's supporting the sun and the moon. And maybe the stars are separate, who knows, I don't know. Yeah? But they have a definite relationship. They have a job to do. They really do. Yeah? Okay, David, yeah, the observation makes sense to you on FE, but not on a sphere. Yeah, again, you know, they have to talk about, they have to assume all sorts of things. Yeah, assuming their curvature are parallel light rays, yeah, which is wrong. It's just not reality. Yeah. Again, there's just a massive contradiction. It's like the sun has a ground point. Any given time of day, the sun has a ground point. But then you're going to go somewhere else that's not beneath the sun and say the light is coming down in parallel lines. It's not. You only do that when you curve the earth. Wide Awake says, science claims the sun does a figure 8 in the sky, so it's possible that refraction can cause the sun to appear to do a figure 8 over both poles. I'm not saying it does, I'm just saying it's exactly. No, I like that thought, man. Wide Awake. Yeah, great. No, this is it. Good. Thank you for commenting, because yes, it does, doesn't it? You know, you look at the analemma, it's doing this. Okay, I know it's like, it's contrived when you take photographs at the same time because it's not the real time, but you get this figure of 8, right? So yeah, you look at someone like FPV Angel's model where the sun changes direction at the right time of year, and away you go. There you go. FPV Angel's got a model that fits with a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Yeah, but don't think Duffy's ever looked at that, has he? Yeah. And again, like you say, Wide Awake, it's not about saying this is what I believe is happening. It's like this is one of many possibilities, right? Yeah, we have no idea. We have no idea of the medium, what the sun is shining through, or yeah. Vara says the sun is apparent, not physical, and uniform for everyone. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's like it does behave like a reflection, doesn't it? You know, when you look at the sun, as if you're moving along and you see the sun, well, it seems to follow you, like a reflection seems to follow you. So it does work in a similar way to a reflection, yeah? And the moon as well. Who's Simon, by the way? People are mentioning Simon, but I'm not sure who that is. Us So Far says, if the stars don't bring light to the earth, they're not doing their job. God wouldn't allow that. Therefore, there are no black holes. Okay. Yeah, but I don't know. Black holes. Psh, yeah, another kind of Einsteinian dream. Oh, what's that? Walking Axel, Mellow Globe. Oh, you're talking about Witsit. Posted a video of sunspots against another guy's southern sunspots. Okay, and what was the result? You want to do the parachute song? Okay. Sandro says the analemma works anywhere, but only from a fixed point within your azimuthal dome of vision through 12. Yeah, right. This is it, isn't it? You know, it's like, but that's the thing with the sun and all of this. It really is. It's kind of this mixture of being subjective and objective, and yeah, we're all trying to convert these subjective observations into something which, you know, but it's like Wide Awake said. It's like there is obviously a change in the position going on. You know, it's getting higher and lower, or further away and closer, or a bit of both, depending on the time of year and depending on where you are, right? Creating this analemma effect. So yeah, but it's also kind of, yeah, so you can, looking at that, you can see how you could end up with this loop of the sun that ends up kind of going around the extremes of the Earth, such as Antarctica, and then the North at different times, because you've got that crossover, yeah? So, I mean, it is as if, yeah, when you think about it like a figure of eight, this does allow the sun to change direction, which is, of course, what's being observed, and this is one of the claims that's saying that can only happen on a globe. But again, we're not, you know, the Earth is flat, and we're looking at a sun that isn't necessarily doing concentric set circles all the time. Yeah, we still don't fully understand it. We can map it to a certain extent, but it's always going to be subjective. Always. Oh, sorry, you're saying not Whitsit, Melodome. Okay. All right. Callum Wilkinson. If I take a time lapse of sun with a sundial for time, noon, sun direct overhead, no figure eight, a straight line. Okay, Callum, let me just get that straight. If I take a time lapse of the sun with a sundial for time, noon, at noon the sun is directly overhead, no figure eight. Okay, but does that always happen? I'm not sure where you're based, Callum. I mean, then, you know, surely the noon at different times of year, if you're anywhere that's not on the equator, then you're kind of, you know, you are going to get different shadows at noon throughout the year, right? And then you've got solar noon, not... Yeah? So there is going to be a difference, I would imagine, right? Vara says the problems begin when you start using a map and applying a physical cyclical sun to it to make a model. Observations in reality imply that the sun is local for every individual. Nobody sees the same. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, you're right in a way, Vara, but when we can all see the same sunspots, then there is obviously something objective to it as well. Yeah. So, okay, Walking Axel, I got that, yeah. So, yeah, I got confused. So, Dave, yeah, because David's calling Whitsit Mellow Globe, right? Is that right? For infinite plane Earth, the treaty still stands. No one is allowed to go there. As far as Antarctica, yeah, I mean, there's all this land, or no man's land beyond Antarctica, which no one's, yeah. You know, again, nothing new. They didn't, you know, the final experiment guys didn't go somewhere that you can't go and no one's ever been before, right? One man says, I felt that from the get-go. From the get, to be honest. Bad vibes from the start. Okay, I'm not sure whether you're talking about the TFE or not, but yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, everyone's got their own journey. We are a community in a word, but that doesn't mean that we all, like I said, we're all individuals. We're all on a journey. And yes, some people pick up on flat Earth as something to kind of a topic to get onto. But yeah, if anyone's like gone back to being a globie because someone saw the 24-hour sun in Antarctica, which was already kind of known about, and that's that just shows that you haven't evolved or progressed from assuming that we determine what's going on the Earth by looking at this. I mean, that's the whole mistake in the first place. Yeah, the whole mistake. Hello, Josh. Good streaming you guys did today. Nice one. Yeah. Okay, oh sorry David, you said something. I played a vid on my last live. Simon, you might have to search for it. Okay. Flat Infinite Plane says one must think the TFE was just how low NASA would go with a studio and all the props. Yeah. Well, this is it, they're so untrustworthy. I don't blame anyone for like thinking that it was all faked and looking into it, but to be honest, I can't be asked with really spending that much time on these guys. It's like they were just from the outset trying to just create all this propaganda and hype, totally undeserved and totally off target. That's a good point. Wide Awake, did anyone notice if during their trip to Antarctica they used any type of camera warmers? I know my cameras shut off when it got really cold here in Florida. Wow, interesting point. Never thought about that. Yeah. So we've got camera warmer gate. Camera condom gate. It's endless, yeah. But they deserve it. This is the thing. Whether you believe or not that they faked it or whatever, doesn't matter. These guys deserve all this trolling because they have been trolling us, yeah. Started off with a false dichotomy, making all these accusations, misrepresentations, yeah, all that jazz, yeah. And they couldn't get to the flat earthers that aren't primarily YouTubers, yeah. Oh, what's that? Someone got to go. Okay, Brendan, thank you. You have to go. Take care. Thank you. All right. I'll see you for breakfast one day. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, Alan. Yeah. So, yeah, let's keep at it. Let's keep focused on the ground and the real journey, the inner journey, the spiritual journey. Yeah, what we're realizing, the culmination of all these things is to realize that whole globe thing, the whole everything, the whole heliocentric globe spinning ball thing is a construct. It is an artificial construct, just like the Matrix, and it's designed to keep this commercial way of life alive, yeah, and people will always be sucked into it, yeah, but eventually it either spits you out or you decide to get out yourself before you get completely chewed up, yeah, and then you're free. This is all about being free from beliefs, free from feeling slighted by people, this is why it's like I'm not going to imprison myself and spend time trying to look at all this footage and stuff and work out whether it's fake or not. It's not worth my time. It's not worth anyone's time. I mean, okay, it's a lot has been said, a lot has been pointed out, and they got to go into defense mode, yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, the sun really is setting on the final experiment. It's done and dusted, Oh, bloody hell. You see, Earthship Bear, you're one of these that's acting like a religious zealot. Yes, I agree. Physical matter reacts to being set into motion. I am not denying that. Not denying anything about our physical realm at all. And I'm not denying... this is it, yeah? You're being a dick. Yeah, because I've already tried to be very pleasant and... what's the word? Compromising, yeah? Saying I accept that the whole theory of the Earth moving is a possibility based on that kind of physics. Yeah? That's it. It's as far as it goes. I'm not going to go trying to tell people that they're stupid or that they have to believe it. Yeah? If they can't imagine. I can imagine it. Yeah? Alright? Stop being a dick. Stop putting words into my mouth saying I'm denying this and that just because you've made some claim that you can't fucking prove. Yeah? And then putting it on me. And anyone else that just says, well, okay, yeah, fair enough. And just, accepts that there's a limit to what we can prove. Because all you're doing is trying to create another cult-like belief or enforce. You're trying to police. You're the fucking thought police. Yeah? Yes, Liz, you're right. Obsessing about one thing is never good. Ashman, Carols. My cousin lives in Australia, and he says there is no longer days in summer. To me, that would mean the sun is closer to them than us, as things that are closer go by faster. Would you agree? That's a good point, Ashman. I didn't know about the lengths of day in Australia. I mean, they still get kind of like a bit of a summer and a winter, don't they? I suppose it depends whether you're in the north or the south, right? I know it gets cold around Tasmania, though. But, yeah, here in Thailand, it's the length of the days doesn't really change. There is a change in the weather, in the kind of the feel of it's kind of like right now has a very slight winter feel. It's a bit fresher. It's got, the monsoon has stopped, so it's drier. Yeah. All right, cool. Cold summer and summer. Okay. Void. Yeah. All right, man. So hey, it's been good to catch up. I reckon that's a good one for now. So yeah, take no heed of this ridiculous misinformation. It just stinks of desperation, and the final flop being just that. Yeah, the final jism. Granddad's last stand. Duffy's last stand. Yeah. Yeah. So I shall not be wasting any more time on these guys. They have had their fun. They've had a go. They've proven nothing. And I shall, be quite happily carrying on as a flat earther who knows that the only reason we think this is what it started with, right? Hang on, let me just get back to my little thing. The globe only exists because stars exist. All right? Yeah, that's it. If it wasn't for stars, they wouldn't have anything, because they've never measured the Earth. They're looking up at the stars. They're seeing this flat, level plane below and above. Yeah. And then they're converting it into perspective. All right. So yeah, quick look back at that. That just very briefly. Yeah. Just go back to this. Yeah. I'll turn off my camera and I'll come back in a second. Yeah. All right. So this is why. Yeah, you've got this observer looking at star A up here. It looks quite high, but when the observer is looking at star B with its actual location up here, it appears down here. Yeah. Okay. So for this guy over here, he's looking at star A, and then you've got this line that comes, you know, the circle. All right. Where is it? Yeah. So that imaginary circle, because just because these stars, one appears high in the sky and the star that's further away appears lower in the sky, you can then create this geometric dome, and voila, there is the geometry of perspective, or perspective converted into a geometric sphere, which is then translated into a globe. Yeah? So that's it really. It's a simple math magic trick. Yeah? Alright. Anyway, I will say goodbye. Thank you very much, David, for your support there, and thank you to the rest of you for coming in. And yeah, give it a like if you can. And all that jazz. And let's just keep focused on the ground and the spiritual journey. Keeping it real. Yeah? Alright. Thank you very much. Take care. Cheers.